With Zenfone 2 series, Asus pretty much nailed the budget smartphone market in almost every price range despite the consistent competition from the Chinese manufacturers. This time around, Asus is targeting the premium smartphone category with its new Zenfone 3 series and hopes to take on the giants of the segment like Apple and Samsung. Today I have with me the Asus Zenfone 3 with the shiny new design. Let's find out if it's worthy competitor to every other flagship out there. The Asus Zenfone 3 is one of the most beautiful smartphones I have seen so far. They have decided to go with the 2.5D curved Corning Gorilla Glass on the both sides of the Zenfone 3 instead of metal, and the result is quite remarkable. The smartphone looks stunning with its signature Zen design with rounded edges and diamond cut on the sides. Despite being a big 5.5-inch display, I could easily hold it in one hand, although I found myself using both of my hands to use it on multiple occasions because its all-glass design also makes it somewhat slippery. On the front, there is a 5.5-inch Super IPS Plus display with standard sensors along with the earpiece and the front camera. Below the display are the back, home and recent apps button, which are capacitive, made with a contrasting steel color. These buttons are not backlit, making it hard to use in a darker surroundings. On the left side, there is a hybrid dual SIM and microSD slot, whereas on the right side, there are volume and power buttons. On the bottom, there is a USB Type-C port, speaker grill and 3.5mm audio jack is on the top. On the rear side of the Zenfone 3 is the camera hump, which has laser autofocus on the one side and dual-tone LED flash on the other. Below the camera is the fingerprint sensor, which is narrow and rectangular in design, which I first thought was not the best design for it, but after using it frequently, it seemed one of the fastest as it unlocked the device in split second without any hassle. I never encountered a moment when Zenfone 3 didn't sense my fingerprint, even when my hand was wet. Below the fingerprint scanner, there is a shiny Asus logo at the bottom side. Asus Zenfone 3 weighs 155 grams and has a 6.16 steel metal frame surrounded by the glass, which increases the thickness up to 7.69 mm. Therefore, it is not one of the slimmest or lightest, but the metal ring holds the glass firmly and it feels sturdy and premium in my hands. The Zen UI in the Asus Zenfone 3 is significantly polished than the previous versions. It is a lot cleaner and all the apps and widgets are well spaced so that they don't feel overcrowded as it felt in the older versions. But yes, it still does have an excess of bloatware app like the ZenTalk or ShareLink, which users seldom use or need. They have removed many unnecessary apps, but these should be optional installs in the first place. I like the fact that many frequently needed apps like Facebook and WhatsApp were being able to download with just one click. I also enjoyed watching display getting the blur effect every time I pull the notification bar down, and many nice little tweaks which stands out immediately with the new UI. All the other functions like managing home screen, notification bar, etc. are still the same as they were in the older Zenphones. I love the Auto Start Manager app as it gives me power to control which apps can run in the background and use data. This is my favorite part of the Zen UI, and I'm happy to see that they have improved it even more. Asus Zenfone 3 has a 5.5-inch Super IPS Plus display with 1920 by 1080p resolution, which is just glorious to watch videos or play games on. It has a pixel density of 401 ppi and brightness rating of up to 600 nits that makes the display offer rich colors and deliver splendid experience. Viewing angles are great, and you can hold the smartphone at any angle quite literally and can see the display clearly without any loss of false colors. The blue light filter, which is a standard feature on all Asus smartphones, makes the display much more soothing to your eyes in low light condition or during the night time. Under the hood, the Asus Zenfone 3 has Qualcomm Snapdragon 625 64-bit octa-core processor, which has a clock speed of 2 GHz and is integrated with Adreno 506 graphics and has a 4GB LPDDR3 RAM. It has a 64GB of internal storage, which can be extended up to 2TB via microSD card, and it is powered by 3000 mAh lithium polyamp battery, which supports fast charging. The hybrid SIM card slot allows you to have two SIM cards or one SIM card and a microSD card at a time. Both the SIM cards allows you to use 4G or 3G, but you can use only one SIM to access the data at a time. Asus Zenfone 3 has a 16MP camera with f2.0 aperture, Sony IMX298 sensor and 6p Lagan lens. The camera has a hump on back, which I was concerned of as it can easily get scratches when kept on the table or in the pocket of your jeans. But Asus says that its sapphire lens will protect it from any scratches or damages. The rear camera uses the ASUS new Tritech autofocus technology, which is a combination of laser, face detection, and continuous autofocus modes. ASUS claims that this helps the camera to focus within 0.03 seconds, and while showing my photographic skills with Zenfone 3, the camera focused super quick in our test, so we can assure that this claim being true. You can check out some of the amazing photos we have clicked in the following images. The camera has both optical and electronic stabilization that enables us to take blur-free shots and videos, and other great features help the camera click excellent pictures in all conditions. As you can clearly see from the pictures, color reproduction is quite good, especially as I clicked them in low light. When it got really dark, there was a loss of detail and lot of noise in the pictures, but after doing a couple of tweaks in the manual mode, I was able to click some spectacular images. It is one of the best camera smartphones which you can use for normal photography in all conditions. When it got really dark, I used special camera mode called low light and also clicked the same picture in auto mode with the flash off and later on, and you can see the difference here clearly. The camera also lets us manually set the time exposure for up to 32 seconds, and this is what I could pull off with the long exposure. I also recorded some videos using the camera, which you can see in the following 4K video sample recorded at the night time. There is an 8 megapixel front camera that takes incredible high quality pictures, which I did not really expect from a front shooter. In brightly lit conditions, the picture were extremely good and no loss of detail or color was observed. However, in low light conditions, the camera does suffer from noise and grain. The front camera can also record in 1080p Full HD resolution. As the ASUS Zenfone 3 looks great on the paper with amazing hardware specifications, it didn't let me down at any point during actual usage. As I've said, the fingerprint sensor is quite fast and it unlocks the phones quickly every single time. I played games like Asphalt 8 on this smartphone and I never encountered any lag or glitch during my gameplay. The games were loaded in very short amount of time and ran seamlessly every time. This smartphone does get heated up after some time, but it never got too uncomfortable to hold. I watched videos and used Zenfone 3 for my routine tasks like reading, browsing, and obviously multitasking between various apps. The network connectivity is quite good and I didn't face any call drops or lags. Using 4G, the Zenfone 3 offered good download and browsing speeds. In short, the ASUS Zenfone 3 never ran out of the performance juice and it impressed me all 2 weeks long. I ran the benchmark test using Antutu and Geekbench 4 and following other results of those. The Antutu score is 62294, whereas the Geekbench 4 single core score was 842 and 4073 for multi-core. The compute score on Geekbench 4 for gaming is 2499, which is just less than Samsung Galaxy S7 and Nexus 6P. Although these numbers don't blow you right away compared to the other flagships, there is nothing to complain about the performance of this smartphone in the real world tests. All this performance is backed by 3000 mAh lithium polyamp battery, which lasted me for a full day even as I was constantly doing something like updating my social media websites, listening to music, playing videos, and some games on the go, which I think is a very good battery life. Another claim of ASUS we could agree with is the Zenfone 3 is 35% power efficient and therefore the battery will last much longer. The battery supports fast charging and ASUS says that you will get 2 hours of talk time with just 5 minutes of charge. Well, I didn't test this claim, but the battery charges really quick from 0 to 80% in an hour. But after that, the charging speed dropped dramatically as the last 20%, that is from 80 to 100%, took almost half an hour to charge. Throughout my use, the battery backup always lasted me for more than a day, which is quite good improvement in the much neglected battery technology. ASUS Zenfone 3 boasts 5-magnet speaker construction on the bottom side of the device with Sonic Master and Hi-Res audio certification. The speakers are quite loud and there was no distortion in the audio when played at the full volume. Clarity is quite good as you can hear all the bass clearly. Although the speakers are loud, they are not that good to play in a big surrounding and for a small house party. The white colored headphones provided are good as they nicely fit in your ear and offer good sound quality. The ASUS Zenfone 3 does hold its ground as ASUS tried to take on the premium smartphone market with incredible storage capacity and new user interface. It has a very beautiful design which is well accompanied by a powerful hardware. The camera is one of the best in the price segment and the display is up to the mark. At Rs 28,000, the ASUS Zenfone 3 is definitely a strong contender and it remains to be seen how it competes with the OnePlus 3 and other smartphones in this price segment as far as the sales goes. For those who are looking for a flagship device with a premium design, performance and advanced Zen UI, Zenfone 3 is a clear winner in this segment. Thanks for watching Digital Conqueror. If you enjoyed watching this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more reviews.